Hello and welcome to the third video in this BiteSize Pandas series. So in this video then we're going to look at slicing data. I've actually got a new notebook open here called Slicing Data, and in the directory where my notebook is being written here, so you can see Slicing Data, I've got a CSV which is available for download with this video called animals.csv. The first three lines here, import pandas as PD, you should know, hopefully already. In the second cell here, I'm just setting some options to say that if I ever want to print a full data frame, don't limit the number of columns or rows that are going to be shown in the printing. Be careful with this, because if you want to print 1,000,000 rows, then you'll probably fill your memory and things will crash. But what Pandas tends to do, especially with lots and lots of columns, is when you do .head, for example, and you've got 50 columns, it will truncate these and only show 6 or 7 of these. I want to see all of the things that we have, and I have a habit in all the notebooks I do of setting these options, so I thought I'd show you. And the third cell here is calling a read CSV function as part of the Pandas library to read in my CSV and make me a data frame from my CSV. The first thing I want to do is add some cells further down here so that we all scroll correctly, and now we can have a little bit of a look at our data frame. The first thing I'm going to do, if you remember from the last video, is quickly look at shape and see that we've got 1,000 rows in our data frame. We've got 3 columns or series. We can look at head on this and just see what the first 5 look like, and see that we've got weight, animal and age, just like in the last one. We've got limited number of animals this time though, they get repeated. You can see there are 2 cats here. If I just do .animal.unique then and execute this, you can see that we've got sheep, pig, cat, dog and a horse in our 1,000 rows in our data frame. Let's do a quick describe here and look at what we've got as well, but not for animal. Let's do it for the whole data frame. So 1,000 of each weight and age, mean age 10.5, and you can see from the other things here what the parameters were I used to actually create this data frame. So we've got a nice little data frame we can play around with in this video. So in this video I'd like to look at what's called slicing data, which is essentially making a copy of the original data frame for different parameters. And it's actually really easy to do. The syntax for doing so let's make a new data frame I'll call data frame temp, just for temporary, is to take our data frame and just to, inside square brackets, say what the conditions are for our data frame that we want to make a copy, use to make a copy. So for example, I can say if I want to take age and I want to make a copy of this data frame, but only where the age is greater than 10, or let's make it greater than equal to 10. And now if I take, I've executed that, one, it executes very quickly, because Pandas is very fast. I can have a quick look at a head of this now and see that I've only got animals here with the age that's 10 or more, I think. I can also do a describe on this, and just to check that, and I can actually see here that the minimum age is indeed 10, so I haven't got anything less than 10 years old. So I've been able to select and make a copy, so a slice of my original data frame this time with animals that are aged 10 or more. Very nice. Just one gotcha here. If I do, let's just do, to limit the number of results, just head 3. So actually I'm going to take just 3 results. So you've seen the describe, I've only got 3 rows in this case, and in fact I can do a full head on this data frame and see the result, which is just these 3 rows. If I delete the head here, what I'll get now is an output of the entire data frame, which is still just the 3 rows. If instead I decide to change this to 20 and do this, I then get 20 here. A couple of interesting things to note. The first one is you'll notice down the left hand side that the indexing remains consonant with the original indexing inside here. In a later video we'll see how we can change that and reset these to be completely sequential. For now it's maintained the original index numbers that it had in the original raw data frame. The other thing, and this is the reason really why I wanted to point this out, if I just pull this back to say showing just 3 rows, often a common error is to do something like this and you get an output. Of course we're not setting this equivalent to anything, so it's just showing us the result of this statement here. And later on when we do grouping and sorting, it'll be really important to be aware of this fact here. This cell is now saying just print us to the output the result of this expression here, which is the first 3 rows of the animals data frame where the age is greater than equal to 10. In our case we wanted to set it actually store that copy in df temp and then have a look at dftemp. So that's how then we would select, say, the age in this case from our data frame. Of course, we might want to do something a little bit more complicated than that. I'm just going to reuse the dftemp here so that we don't get too many differently named data frames in this notebook. But let's say I want to have something where the age is greater than or equal to 10, or let's say the age is greater than or equal to 10 and the age is less than 15, let's say. To do that, I simply have to put the first expression in brackets and then the second expression in brackets and put an ampersand in the middle of them, and now I'll have ages that are less than 15 or greater than or equal to 10. And in fact, I can chain as much as I want these statements together inside the square parentheses here. So again, if I just run a quick describe on the result of this, what we can see is now that we've got a minimum age of 10 and a max of 14. It's behaving exactly to the conditions that we specified. And this is one of the things that often takes people who are just starting out with pandas a long time to discover, is how you do these multiple conditional expressions when slicing your data frame. I can even do different columns as well. So for example, I could say, please give me where the age, let's say, instead of greater than or equal to 10, let's say is less than or equal to 12, but also where the weight is greater than 100. And hope that I actually have something as data frame, so I'm not sure if I don't have greater than 200, let's say. And now I can see that I've got 192 results there. I'll just do a quick head on this as well, just see what we've got, and we can see that we've got the first 5 results there where the weights indeed are greater than 200 and the ages are less than 12 in this case. So I can also use different column names also to select my data. There's another way of using columns which you'll need to do when, particularly when there's a space in the column name. I can also do it like this and put age in this format like this, and it works exactly in the same way. Another technique that's often asked for as well is, what if I've got a certain, say, list of ages and I want to select for all of those without doing a load of chained AND expressions? Well, it's very, very simple also to do this. Let's say we've got a list of ages like so, and we'll put the ages, I mean, it's just for demo at the moment, so let's just do 14, 11 and 12. So this is my ages list, and now I want to take a temporary data frame where the data is inside this list here, inside the values. So the way I would do this is just to say df animals, same syntax as before, open the brackets, except now what I'd say is the data frame animals dot age in this case, and then there's an expression called isIn, very, very convenient, and now I can just say list ages, and now this will give me a new data frame, dftemp. If I just go to describe again so we can have a look, where we can see that the min age is 11, the max age is 14, and if I just do a head on this as well, we can see that we've got ages that conform to 14, 11 or 12. In fact, if I do agent.unique, we can see that actually we've only got in our data frame 12, 14 and 11. I'm just going to do a shape on this just to see how big the data frame itself is, and we've got 139 rows. So if you want to select something or slice a data frame for values in a list, this is the way you do it, using the isIn. And you can also chain expressions with the and things like that. The other thing we can also do is we can use an OR. So instead of asking for the age is less than or equal to 12 and the weight is greater than 200, what I could do instead is put an OR inside here with a pipe, if I can find it on a German keyboard. There it is. And now I'll get a different data frame. So what I'm going to do is just put a cell below here and just do a head on dftemp, or shape, sorry. So I'll run this expression again here where I've got the and find I've got 192 rows. What I'll do now is just execute this one, and now I've got 735 with the OR, so obviously I've got more results. It'll take all ages where the weight is greater than 200, or all rows where the age is less than or equal to 12. So that's the way then you can use the age. Another thing you could do, it's pretty rare, well not rare, but I haven't seen it very much. I could say, okay, I want to take only where the age is, say, greater than the weight. and probably it's pretty obvious how that would work now. Here I'll say dataframe animals, and I'll go back to the .age. I find it a little bit easier to read. Is greater than dataframe animals weight. And now that will, in dftemp, give me only 7 rows in this case, which is understandable because the weights are usually a lot higher than the age. Let's just have a look at head on here, and we can see that we've only got now where the age is actually greater than the weight. So you can also, inside the selection here, use combinations of values from different columns. So that's it then for this video. That's the basics of slicing and selecting data. So sorting and grouping we'll go into in later videos, but that covers basically most of the main operations you'll want to do when slicing or selecting data from your data frames. Any questions, let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, and see you in the next one.